Some deaths are simple facts. Others are puzzles that won't stay buried. 7 artists, 7 mysteries, 8 minutes. I want you to walk with me through time, from paint-splattered lofts to neon-lit alleys, following clues and contradictions that couldn't fully resolve. Investigators, friends, fans. This isn't a cold list of dates and verdicts. It's a breadcrumb timeline that drops a fresh clue at every stop. I'll lead you chronologically, stopping at each artist's final days, highlighting gaps in timelines, witnesses who later recanted, forensic details that never added up, motives that keep resurfacing. We'll hear the official rulings, but we'll also let the silences speak. A brief note: death, addiction, violence. May be sensitive for some viewers. Throughout, I'll keep a record of the little things that don't fit together. A last photo, a delayed phone call, a cleaned scene, and I'll stack them so you can see the pattern. Stay with me. At each stop, we'll reveal a new crack in the official story. The missing receipts, the contradictory statements, the altered evidence. It's a method, a breadcrumb trail, not a verdict. Let's begin. At 27, Basquiat was found dead in his New York loft in 1988. A heroin overdose, but friends and gaps in the timeline left questions that still echo through the art world. The official notes record the time, the paraphernalia, and a faded bottle. They don't fully explain how he could vanish from the public eye for so many hours without a clear trail. We start with the last public sighting, a gallery opening days earlier where he seemed exhausted but engaged. Then a string of witnesses later gave inconsistent accounts. Some friends said they last saw him alive at a party. Others placed him returning to the loft alone. The apartment's interior was not secured like a typical crime scene. It was cleaned up, or at least rearranged, before a complete inventory could be made. That cleaning, and who did it, is a gap that keeps whispering. A cleaned scene in a chaotic moment, a lost window of time, and a handful of people whose memories don't line up. There's a taxi receipt with a time that seems to contradict a close friend's timeline. We leave Basquiat's room with an official overdose ruling, and a neighborhood of inconsistencies that refuse to settle. In 1890, Van Gogh died of a gunshot wound, ruled a suicide. Yet modern researchers point to inconsistencies that suggest the possibility of foul play. We step back to a rural French field, the bright wheat, the blurred memory of a man who preferred solitude but surrounded himself with companions. The official story: he shot himself and staggered back to the inn where he died. Angle of entry: the trajectory described by witnesses, no self-inflicted wound consistent with a deliberate suicide. The first red breadcrumb: the absence of a suicide note. Van Gogh's letters to his brother contain no explicit instructions for a planned act. He had been upset, yes, but he had plans that don't fit a final, intentional act. Alternate scenario: a misfiring local boy, a dare gone wrong, a cover story to protect reputations. Oddities in the record: inconsistent wound reports, no powder residue on his hands in some accounts, and the convenience of accepting suicide in an era of scandal. His letters show fear of being a burden, real and heartbreaking, alongside notes about future work and hope for recovery. Those words sit uneasily beside the single, devastating fact of a gunshot. Plath's 1963 death was declared suicide by carbon monoxide, but debates over her mental state, relationships, and final days keep new theories alive. We walk into a small London flat, a bedroom with a door wedged shut, the quiet of a household that had been tearing at itself for months. The official verdict is direct, but the breadcrumbs reveal a complex mesh of dependency, control, disputed recollection. One prominent clue is the arrangement of her children, the sequence of events reported by her estranged husband. Questions were raised about timing, access to the gas, and the steps taken by those who discovered her. Some say there were moments when help could have been sought. Others say she had sealed her fate with intent. We trace the breadcrumbs through medical records, attempts at therapy, and reactions of contemporaries. Another unresolved thread is the role of prescription medications and whether a clearer medical timeline could have altered interventions. There's the matter of narrative control. Editors, lovers, relatives, each shaping how her ending is told. The ambiguous notes and unfinished work refuse to be reduced. Chapter 4. The Nirvana frontman's 1994 death was labeled suicide. However, missing evidence and vocal skeptics fueled persistent conspiracy theories. We follow a timeline that includes a secluded rental, failing health, a bullet. That bullet left fans and investigators asking why certain records vanished and others were never made public. First breadcrumb. Studio security footage had anomalies, missing hours, blurry stretches, delays in release. Second breadcrumb. Toxicology reports, prescription contents, questions about impairment and intent. Third breadcrumb. Witness statements shifted over time. People close to him described differing moods and plans, talking about leaving music, planning trips, a collage of incompatible endings, alleged tampering, and a lack of thorough chain of custody documentation for some items recovered. Independent investigators flagged these administrative errors. Another haunting breadcrumb. Notes and a suicide letter. Authorship and intent debated. Analysts contradicted each other. Close friends contradicted each other. Chronic pain, addiction, and public pressure complicate everything. We exit with a stack of breadcrumbs and an ache that the full truth may never be unearthed. Chapter 5. Found dead in 2011 from alcohol poisoning. Amy's erratic final years, and the people around her raise questions about how and why she spiraled. We take the timeline from chart-topping highs to private struggles, following late-night footage, canceled shows, and caretakers whose roles blurred between friend and handler. The official cause is clear, but the breadcrumbs point to a more tangled human story. Ad hoc caretaking, friends stepping in, managers making decisions, family at times sidelined. Overlaps make responsibility diffuse and preventing harm harder. Flights, late arrivals, bottles in rooms, each a small but significant marker of decline. Calls answered, calls not answered, people who arrived, people who left, and texts suggesting enabling. Her music and interviews reveal self-awareness of danger and exhaustion with being rescued, wanting help, resisting it. Overlapping failures, addiction, exploitation, isolating fame. Sensational coverage often obscured systemic gaps and accountability. Chapter 6. Gunned down in 1996 in Las Vegas. Rivalries, missing witnesses, conflicting leads. We walk the Vegas timeline. A nightclub argument, a drive-by, a burst of violence that launched an investigation that never fully closed. Eyewitness accounts contradicted shooter number and shot direction. Some witnesses disappeared or refused to cooperate. Others changed under pressure. Competing leads, no definitive path. Gang rivalries, record label tensions, motives of revenge, retaliation, targeted assassination, heat, but little clarity. Alleged indifference, possible conflicts, procedural missteps, rumors filled the vacuum and hardened into theories. Procedural holes are breadcrumbs pointing to missed chances. We leave with a maze of motives and a trail of dead ends. Chapter 7. 6 months after Tupac, Biggie was killed in a drive-by in Los Angeles. Investigations, alleged cover-ups, and unanswered questions left a legacy of suspicion. We trace the timeline from award shows to a shooting outside a party, reconciling vehicle paths, camera angles, and a police investigation without conclusive public findings. Early breadcrumbs, discrepancies in witness accounts, and a lack of cooperation, fear and pressure. Time passed. People relocated or went silent. Evidence cooled. Multiple theories claimed attention. Allegations of institutional complicity and obstruction, later probed by inquiries and civil suits. Cross-connections between factions and ambiguous relationships complicated motive and accountability. A layered timeline where every new claim births another question. Contradictory calls, missing footage, delayed statements, breadcrumbs that never coalesced. The public's hunger met the limits of evidence. You know, it's hard to let go of those questions. Outro. Across these stops, the breadcrumbs add up. A mix of individual choices, institutional failures, the corrosive effects of fame. They don't give us clean answers, but they do offer a map of what went wrong and why accountability matters.